So, what if the leaders we admire most, the ones who get real results, aren't the ones who make us feel good? What if their actual job is to make us feel, well, a little uncomfortable? It's a powerful idea, and it cuts against almost everything we're taught. Today, we're going to map out why that discomfort isn't a bug. It's actually a feature of great leadership.
I mean, think about it. We're all conditioned to believe that a great team is a happy, harmonious team, right? We picture everyone getting along, lots of consensus, a real sense of ease. But what if that's a total trap? What if that feeling of comfort is actually a quiet alarm bell, warning you that real leadership is MIA? And this gets us right to the core of it. The common belief is that leaders should create harmony. But the signal, the thing that actually leads to results, is that great leaders create productive tension. They don't shy away from the tough conversations, they lean into them. They see them as the tools you need to build something great. They're not trying to smooth things over, they're trying to surface the truth.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start by tearing down that comfort myth. Then, we'll dive into 3 uncomfortable truths that reveal the pattern behind real performance. We'll look at how this plays out in the real world, weigh the true cost of harmony, see the advantage of friction, and then we'll wrap up by turning the lens back on ourselves. All right, let's start with this comfort myth. It's so appealing, isn't it? The idea of a leader who creates this warm, supportive, totally friction-free environment. But honestly, it's a dangerous fantasy. It plays right into our very human, very deep-seated need to be liked. I mean, from day one, we're taught to get along and don't rock the boat. So it's no wonder we carry that into the office. We mistake a quiet meeting where nobody disagrees for a productive one. But that's the trap. That harmony is often just a mirage, hiding a wasteland of unspoken problems, weak ideas, and a slow creep toward mediocrity. Okay, now for the pattern behind all this. When you really study how top-tier leaders operate, people like Ray Dalio talking about radical transparency, Brené Brown's research on tough conversations, or Jocko Willink on extreme ownership, you start to see this common thread. They all get it. They understand that real leadership is built on a foundation of uncomfortable truths. And you can really boil it all down to these 3 signals. First, that tension when it's productive is what actually creates respect. Second, that chasing the truth, no matter how hard, always beats faking harmony. And third, this one's a big one. Friction isn't a problem, it's the very thing that fuels real growth and trust. Let's break each of those down. This quote just cuts right to the chase, doesn't it? If your main goal as a leader is for everyone to like you, you're toast. And so is your team. You'll hold back on crucial feedback, you'll let standards slip just to avoid a tough chat, and piece by piece, you'll lose the very respect you're hoping to get. Real respect isn't earned by being a friend. It's earned by caring enough to push people to be better than they thought they could be. So let's talk about that second signal, truth over harmony. There's this incredible concept called ruinous empathy. It's the perfect name for a massive leadership failure. It's when you know someone's work just isn't cutting it, but instead of being direct, you say something like, "Yeah, it's fine," just to spare their feelings. It feels kind in the moment, but it's actually sabotage. You've just robbed them of the truth they needed to hear to actually get better.
And that brings us to the third signal, friction. We're taught to see a team arguing as a sign of dysfunction, but that's just flat out wrong. The absolute best teams argue all the time. They have passionate but respectful debates. They poke holes in each other's ideas. They stress test every plan. It's not personal. It's a shared obsession with finding the best answer. And it builds this deep trust where everyone knows it's safe to speak up.
Okay, so that's the theory. But how does this play out in the game, in the day-to-day grind? Let's look at those moments where leaders have to make a choice. Do I create comfort, or do I create the productive tension we need to win? These moments right here are what separate the good from the great. It's that pit in your stomach before you have to give somebody tough feedback. It's the tension in the room when you challenge the strategy everyone else is nodding along to. It's the discomfort of saying no to a good idea so the team can stay focused on a truly great one. In every single one of these moments, the easy path is comfort. The leadership path is choosing tension on purpose. So, what happens when you consistently take that easy path? What is the actual price you pay for prioritizing harmony over everything else? Let's be really clear about the cost here. The simple truth is, everybody loses. The mission stalls out because nobody's really accountable for results. They're just accountable for being nice. Your best people, the ones who are dying for a challenge, they get frustrated and they're the first ones out the door. And the leader's credibility, it just vanishes.
leaving behind a team that's stuck in a comfortable mediocrity, never knowing what it could have been. And look, this isn't just a hunch. The data is crystal clear on this. It's not a small gap. Teams with conflict-avoidant leaders consistently get stuck in low performance. But teams with leaders who know how to engage in healthy, productive conflict, they consistently blow past their goals. The difference is stark.
Okay, so we've seen the cost of avoiding conflict. Now let's flip it. What's the edge? What's the strategic advantage you gain when you actually learn how to master productive tension?
It's a total reversal of what we just saw. The team gets tougher, more resilient. They can handle anything because they've practiced having hard conversations. The truth becomes the default setting, which means better, faster decisions. In the leader, they earn the one currency that actually matters more than being liked: deep, authentic respect. And that right there is the ultimate edge. This isn't just about winning one argument or hitting one quarterly number. It's about building a resilient culture. It's about installing an operating system for your team that actually thrives under pressure and sees every tough problem as a chance to get even better. So, we've walked through the signal, the pattern, and the game, but this kind of analysis is pretty useless if you don't apply it. So, for this last part, it's time to turn inward. It's time for a look in the mirror. And be brutally honest with yourself here. Where are you choosing comfort over leadership? Is there a difficult conversation you know you need to have, but you keep putting it off? Is there a standard you've let slide because it's just easier than holding the line? Think back on the last week. Was there a moment you acted like a friend when your team really needed you to be a leader? Now, this next one might sting a little, but it's crucial. Who on your team avoids telling you the truth? Who's afraid to bring you bad news or challenge your ideas? Because if they are, that's a massive signal that you, the leader, have created a space where the truth doesn't feel safe. And that leads us to our final question for today. Every single team, every organization has that elephant in the room, that necessary tension that everyone can feel, but nobody wants to name. What's yours? Because your willingness to step into that discomfort, to name that tension and deal with it, well, that's the ultimate test of leadership.